78 years has passed since the Vandal sack of Rome. The remnants of the Western Roman Empire has long since collapsed, and its territory is now laid in the hands of various factions. When the relations between the Vandal kingdom and Eastern Rome were finally improving, the pro-Roman Hilderic gets overthrown by Gelimer, an opponent of Roman authority. Giving Emperor Justinian an excuse to begin his restoration project, he pacifies the eastern frontier and assembles an invasion force with a pretext to restore Hilderic. The invasion force itself consisted of 10,000 infantry and 5,000 cavalry, led by Flavius Belisarius, a key general in the war against the Sassanids and suppressing the Nicarites in Constantinople a year prior. The invasion fleet set sail, but the initial progress was slow. They spent a few days waiting for horses and a few more days waiting for the wind, and when they finally got going, 500 men fell dead after consuming moldy bread. Apparently, in an attempt to save money, they were only baked once. The fleet stops in Sicily to resupply, and that's when luck begins to favor the Romans. By mere chance, the historian Procopius accompanying the expedition receives information from his merchant friend that not only were the Vandals unaware of the approaching Roman fleet, but they had just recently sent a large force to Sardinia to put down a revolt. Hearing this, Belisarius immediately set sail towards Cape Capovata. After landing in Africa, the Roman army followed the coastal road. John the Armenian rode ahead with 300 cavalry, while 600 Huns covered the army's left flank. Belisarius stays back with his personal troops to cover the rear. Gelimer, now fully aware of the Roman army at his doorstep, executes Hilderic, and commands his brother Amatus in Carthage to assemble the city's garrison in order to confront the Romans before they reached Carthage. The decisive engagement would take place at Decimum, meaning 10 milepost, or at the 10th. Gelimer prepares to ambush and encircle the approaching Roman force. His brother Amatus would block the Roman advance, while his nephew Gibamund would attack the Roman left flank. Gelimer himself would lead his main force to attack the rear. The moment arrives, but the three forces fail to synchronize. Amatus' force arrived too early and gets overrun by the Roman vanguard, Amatus himself being killed in the process. Gibamund's force arrives next to flank the Roman left, only to be intercepted by the strategically placed Huns and destroyed. Unaware of any of this, Gelimer marches his main army and attacks the Roman rearguard, forcing them to rout away from Decimum, expecting his brother's troops to be on the other side. But upon entering Decimum, Gelimer comes upon his dead brother and his fallen soldiers. Perhaps overwhelmed with grief, Gelimer withdraws from command, giving Belisarius ample time to rally his troops and attack the disorganized Vandals, ending the day in a decisive Roman victory, while Gelimer and his remaining troops fled westward. Upon entering Carthage the next day, Belisarius gave direct orders to treat the Carthaginians as Roman citizens. He reminded his soldiers that this was a restoration and not a conquest. Any soldier acting out of order were severely punished. During the following weeks, Gelimer amassed a new army, joined by his surviving brother Sazon, who returned from Sardinia with a sizable force. Gelimer soon marches on Carthage with an army that now outnumbered the Romans. In the face of the numerical disadvantage, Belisarius questioned the loyalty of his mercenaries, and rightly so. Gelimer actively tried to bribe his mercenaries into betraying him. Belisarius resolved to meet Gelimer in open battle, concluding if he was going to be betrayed, that it might as well be in the open. 15th of December, 30 miles west of Carthage, at Tricamarum. The battle begins with John the Armenian leading a cavalry charge against the Vandal center. The initial charge was repulsed. John withdrew his riders, reformed, then attacked again. By the third charge, the Roman infantry is set in motion. One thing is clear, during the assault, Sazon is killed inside of Gelimer. Now having lost a second brother to battle, Gelimer lost heart. The Romans ordered a general attack across the center, scattering the Vandal lines. The center broke first, then the rest soon followed. The mercenaries, seeing the Roman victory, joins the battle in pursuit of the Vandals. The Vandal army soon shatters. Gelimer flees once again, this time without much hope of a recovery. He would attempt to elude his pursuers until his eventual surrender the following spring. The Vandal kingdom has been destroyed in less than a year. Justinian couldn't have asked for better results. His dreams to reunite the empire was finally a reality. With Africa back under Roman control, he could now focus on the more important conquest of Italy, and the general who achieved that reality must be rewarded. In fitting fashion, the returning Belisarius was met with the restored tradition of a triumph, echoing the days of the old Roman Republic. Belisarius rode towards the Hippodrome followed by the spoils of war, including Gelimer himself, various Vandal treasure, and even objects looted from Rome during the Vandal sack. To onlookers of the time, it must have seemed like a dawn of a new era, the return of Roman hegemony over the Mediterranean. The streets of Constantinople were filled with festivities, as the people celebrated the last triumph to ever be given. Join me next time as we follow Belisarius in Italy and continue the story of Justinian's reconquest, and thank you for watching.